These are 10 of the deadliest leaders in human history. Let's begin. Number 10. Pol Pot, Cambodia, 1975 to 1979. When the Khmer Rouge seized control of Cambodia in 1975, its leader, Pol Pot, promised a new beginning. Instead, he attempted to erase modern society. Cities were emptied. Money was abolished. Schools were closed. Religion was banned. Millions were forced into agricultural labor camps. Food became scarce. Disease spread rapidly. Anyone considered educated could become a target. Teachers, doctors, engineers, even wearing glasses could be seen as suspicious. Thousands were executed. Hundreds of thousands more died from starvation, exhaustion, and disease. The countryside filled with mass graves. Today they are known as the killing fields. By the time Pol Pot's regime collapsed in 1979, approximately 2 million people were dead. Number 9. Kim Il-sung, North Korea, 1948 to 1994. In 1948, Kim Il-sung founded North Korea. Over the decades, he built one of the most isolated and authoritarian states in modern history. Political opposition vanished. Entire families could be punished for the actions of a single relative. Prison camps expanded across the country. Inside, prisoners faced forced labor, starvation, and brutal treatment. Then came the Korean War. Cities were reduced to rubble. Millions died across the peninsula. The system Kim created would continue long after the war ended. By the time of his death in 1994, deaths linked to war, repression, and the regime he established are often estimated at between 2 and 3 million people. Number 8. Mengistu Haile Mariam, Ethiopia, 1977 to 1991. In 1977, Mengistu Haile Mariam became the ruler of Ethiopia. His government launched a campaign known as the Red Terror. Political opponents were hunted down. Executions became common. Bodies were sometimes left in public places as warnings. At the same time, civil war spread across the country. Then came famine. Entire regions suffered catastrophic food shortages. Millions faced starvation. Images of suffering children shocked the world. The combination of political violence, war, and hunger devastated Ethiopia. By the end of Mengistu's rule, in 1991, approximately 2 to 3 million people had died. Number 7. Enver Pasha, Ottoman Empire, 1913 to 1918. During the final years of the Ottoman Empire, Enver Pasha became one of its most powerful leaders. The empire was already struggling for survival. Then came World War I. Amid the chaos, Armenian communities were targeted for deportation. Families were forced from their homes. Many were marched across deserts with little food or water. Countless people died from starvation, disease, exposure, and violence. Other ethnic groups also suffered mass displacement and persecution. The scale of human suffering remains debated, but historians estimate that several million deaths were linked to wartime deportations, massacres, famine, and conflict during this period. By the fall of the Ottoman leadership, roughly 3 to 5 million people had died. Number 6. Hideki Tojo, Japan, 1941 to 1944. As Japan's wartime prime minister, Hideki Tojo oversaw a period of rapid military expansion across Asia. Japanese forces occupied vast territories. Across these regions came massacres, forced labor, prison camps, and brutal treatment of civilians and prisoners of war. Entire communities suffered under occupation. Cities were devastated by years of conflict. Millions of civilians became trapped in the violence. The human cost spread across multiple countries. By the end of World War II, deaths associated with Japanese wartime policies and atrocities reached into the millions. Many estimates place the figure at over 5 million lives. Number 5. Leopold II, Congo Free State, 1885 to 1908. King Leopold II of Belgium never commanded a massive empire, yet his personal control of the Congo Free State produced one of history's greatest humanitarian disasters. Rubber became enormously profitable. To maximize production, local populations were forced into labor. Villagers faced impossible quotas. Failure often brought severe punishment. Entire communities lived under constant terror. Disease spread rapidly. Food shortages followed. Population losses mounted year after year. What happened in the Congo remained hidden from much of the world for years. By the time Leopold's rule ended in 1908, historians estimate that approximately 10 million people had died. Number 4. Adolf Hitler, Germany, 1933 to 1945. When Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany in 1933, many Germans believed he would restore their nation's strength. Instead, he built one of history's most notorious regimes. Jewish communities became primary targets. Families were deported. Homes were seized. Entire communities disappeared. Concentration camps evolved into industrialized killing centers. But Jewish victims were not alone. Roma communities, disabled individuals, political opponents, religious minorities, and prisoners of war also faced persecution. The Holocaust became one of history's most infamous crimes. By the collapse of Nazi Germany in 1945, approximately 17 million people had become victims of Nazi persecution and extermination policies. Number 3. Joseph Stalin, Soviet Union, 1924 to 1953. Following the death of Vladimir Lenin, Joseph Stalin consolidated power and became ruler of the Soviet Union. Fear became a political weapon. Political opponents disappeared. Military leaders were arrested. Ordinary citizens were accused of crimes they never committed. Mass arrests became routine. Millions entered the Gulag system. A vast network of forced labor camps spread across the Soviet Union. Many prisoners never returned. Then came famine. Agricultural policies devastated food production. Entire regions starved. Food continued to be seized even as millions went hungry. Others died through executions, deportations, and political repression. By Stalin's death in 1953, many historians estimate that approximately 20 million people had died under his rule. Number 2. Genghis Khan Mongol Empire, 1206 to 1227. In 1206, Genghis Khan united the Mongol tribes and launched one of the largest military expansions in history. His armies swept across Asia and into Europe. Cities that surrendered were often spared. Those that resisted could be completely destroyed. Entire populations disappeared. Mass executions followed major conquests. Some cities lost nearly all their inhabitants. The Mongol campaigns reshaped continents. Kingdoms vanished. Civilizations collapsed. Historians estimate that as many as 40 million people may have died during the conquests launched by Genghis Khan and his empire. A staggering figure for the medieval world, yet one ruler may have surpassed even that. And number 1, Mao Zedong, China, 1949 to 1976. In 1949, Mao Zedong proclaimed the creation of the People's Republic of China. He promised a new future, but the policies that followed would contribute to one of history's deadliest human catastrophes. In 1958, Mao launched the Great Leap Forward. The goal was rapid industrialization. Local officials exaggerated harvest figures. The government believed food production was soaring. Reality was very different. Food shortages spread across the country. Villages ran out of grain. Families starved. Millions died quietly from hunger. Then came the Cultural Revolution. Political persecution intensified. Violence spread. Ancient traditions were destroyed. Countless lives were shattered. Most historians agree that the majority of deaths occurred during the famine years. By Mao's death in 1976, many historians estimate that approximately 45 million people had died under his rule, making him one of the deadliest rulers ever recorded.